Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, Yannick. I hope you lot are all doing well today, mate. I really do hope that. Welcome to your match review of Chelsea's 3-1 win against Brighton away in the Premier League. That's right, Jan got his first score prediction of the season correct, and there's a lot to dissect from this game. Good things, bad things, and to be honest, the reality of this is the infancy of Frank Lampard's new Chelsea project. Incidentally, it was the old boys that scored the goals. 3-1 to Chelsea on the night, and you know what? I'm feeling good. We move. Before we crack into the video, please do subscribe to Football Therapy if you've not already done so, mate. Road to 100,000 subs. We're having a lovely time over here. You could join me in having a lovely time if you subscribe. If you choose to do so, hit that all-important bell notifications icon. And if you want to help me out, you do. That's really kind of you. Please do drop a like on this video. Alright then, let's get into it. So indeed, the opening of Frank Lampard's second season, the new era of breaking football, no longer Academy FC, but now Galactico Academy FC hybrid. Brighton are a good side, they've got a good coach in Graham Potter, they have settled, they've got good defensive players, and I was kind of worried, hence me putting a 3-1 prediction in, but on the night, man, it could have been different. Before I get into the match review, Brighton do deserve great credit for how they played. Some good football, some good combinations, probably a bit unlucky at times, especially with the Lewis Dunk header, but at the same time probably quite lucky with the Kepa no goalkeeper. But let's be real, man. For Brighton, it was the Tariq Lamptey show. Yes, Chelsea sold him. Yes, he is an amazing talent. And yes, he probably would not have started over Reece James for a multitude of reasons, so it made sense for him to move on. Get over it. So I'm going to give you my opinion on the game, the goal scorers, the individual performers, but so you could have a look at what happened, let me show you the who scored graphic from this game. As you can see, Brighton deployed their back three system with Lewis Dunk and new boy, well, old boy, Ben White back in the side, obviously an excellent defender. Pretty much a classic Graham Potter approach, and they, defend well but do play expansive football. Frank Lampard played a very peculiar system. It was like a 4-2-2-2, which we have seen recently around football. It can be vogue. That also turned into a 4-2-3-1 at times. It was quite weird, if you ask me, a box midfield with a front two that, to be honest, I genuinely feel like it didn't work that well, and ultimately it's Chelsea's quality that shone in this game and saw us over the line. Frank went with Kepa between the sticks as expected, because it's him or Caballero, and he does need to be in the shop window, or his confidence needs to be built up again. Reece James at right back at predicted. Zouma and Christensen both as a centre-back partnership. I did think Rudiger might be playing, but it's nice to see them too. And Marcus Alonso at left-back. I did say you could both equally be Azpilicueta or Alonso, and it was Alonso. I said Chelsea will impose themselves against the opposition in this game as the stronger side, and attacking fullbacks would do that, so Alonso and Reece James were the selection. N'Golo Kante, Jorginho, Mason Mount and Kai Havertz completed the box midfield, of Kai Havertz kind of playing in that area that he likes to play, in almost the right channel number 8 area. And the front two consisted of Timo Werner and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and another Ruben Loftus-Cheek experiment that just didn't work, and spoiler, he played real bad. Alright, so who scored the goals? Well, Timo Werner was excellent in this match. I will talk about player performances a little bit more, but he won a penalty which Jorginho converted. He's got a 100% record for Chelsea in 90 minutes, 9 shootouts, and yet he dispatched this penalty beautifully. You could argue a little bit against the run of play. Early doors, Brighton were playing very well indeed. Brighton did get a deserved equaliser via Trossard, but the goal itself was very disappointing from a Chelsea perspective. It's a long-range drive, it goes underneath Kepa, who gets there in terms of reach, goes under his arm. It's absolutely nearly a howler from a goalkeeper's perspective. You can tell this guy is just absolutely shot for confidence. And to be honest, bro, Edouard Mendy can't come sooner. Very disappointing. I don't wish any bad stuff on Kepa. I really think he needs another space to develop his confidence. Although Brighton were good for a goal in this game at least, it shouldn't have been that goal, basically. Chelsea equalised very, very quickly, and this game, it was generally the Tariq Lamptey show, but Reece James, who was okay and good at parts, showed what he can do and what he should have been doing more. He rifled an absolute banger. Superb long-range drive, smashed it into the top corner. Reece James has absolutely had that in his locker for a long time now. I'm surprised we didn't see a couple more last season, but he's getting more and more confident and expect him to get a few goals this season. Chelsea go back ahead at 2-1, and I'm feeling a little bit more comfortable. We get a little bit of daylight from a goal from Kurt Zouma, from, I believe, a set piece of memory serves. The ball comes in, it lands to Kurt Zouma. I think it hits Webster and deflects in, but Kurt Zouma will claim the goal because it's on target. Chelsea are now 3-1 up, and ultimately we're looking pretty good. And to be honest, around that part of the game, Chelsea were in the ascendancy, and they were looking a little bit better, even in this peculiar formation and approach. Chelsea see out the game, and they have some good moments as well. To be honest, Brighton did have good spells in the game, which they wasted through their own, perhaps, missed chances, and the goal they scored, almost ironically, probably shouldn't have gone in due to our poor goalkeeper. But I do want to talk about player performances and go through each player, so let's start with Kepa Balaga between the sticks. Poor, sadly, wasn't very good. We should have had a clean sheet ultimately. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but for me it was very, very poor. At left back, Marcos Alonso, he frustrated me at the beginning because he was getting roasted by Tariq Lamptey, who was by far and away Brighton's standout performer. Very, very good. He was just so fast on the ball, taking the ball between the lines and between players. And he was roasting Alonso. But to be honest, Alonso isn't quick, so I don't want to say he was poor in this game because of that, because that was always meant to happen. In fact, Alonso actually won some aerial duels later on, looked pretty good. In fact, I thought he was good ultimately in the end, all things considered. Similarly with Reece James, he had some wobbly moments early doors, but after the goal, his confidence went up and he actually had some good defensive moments as well, and I felt pretty happy with his performance all round. And it was a golazzo. It was a superb goal. And it was the goal that put us back ahead and settled things down, so he deserves immense credit, Reece James. Now, with the centre-back partnerships, obviously Zouma scored the goal that gave us daylight and made everyone take a big sigh of relief, but generally, defensively, was he that great? Probably not. He clears his lines, which is good, but he's not a very cultured defender of late. But the goal was important, so he deserves a massive shout-out for that. But ultimately, out of the two central defenders, it was all about Andreas Christensen, and he absolutely shone this game as much as he could in terms of, just being thrown back into the team, an unsettled side, etc. He had some really good defensive moments, like notable ones. The commentators was talking about it, I was thinking about it. Christensen seemed very, very assured, but he can do this. We've seen him. We know he's capable of being very good. It's just whether he can keep it on. Also, we know Christensen's biggest weakness is getting bodied off the ball. Brighton weren't really into that in this game, so it was kind of like a really good game for Christensen. N'Golo Kante at CDM, or whichever, at the bottom of the box midfield, played very, very well. Looked very solid. Didn't have any super moments, but didn't need to. Very, very good from N'Golo Kante. I was very pleased to see him back and playing well. Jorginho next to him actually pretty good as well, to be honest. Obviously dispatched his penalty as he always does very well. There was a couple of moments in the second half where he did do his play out of pressure very cerebrally, if that's a word, and quickly. He receives the ball, knows where people are, keeps his back to them, and releases the ball to a teammate under pressure. He does that very well. Specialist player Jorginho, and did that today. I was pleased with him. Mason Mount similarly did what he does well: press, high pressure, high press, try to win the ball back, get ball side. Very hard worker. Had some good offensive moments in the final third. Didn't really pay off though. But I can't really critique Mason Mount. I thought he was very good. His industry, to be honest, what he was doing should have been an example on the pitch for Kai Havertz, who's new, who's settling. He should have seen how Mason Mount was harrying. The thing is, Kai Havertz moves around effortlessly. Why can't I say that word? Kai Havertz moves around like he glides, basically, which, Mason Mount inherently looks more like a harrying, pressing midfielder, but Mason was very, very good, more comfortable and assured. Kai needs to settle. Now, Kai Havertz, let's move on to him. Quiet debut, I suppose. He did have moments where he sort of had these good combinational sort of segments of the game, but ultimately he wasn't great. He also made one high-profile mistake, but to his credit, he ran back, tackled, got the ball back, turned over possession, and made up for his error, which is massive in the Premier League. Frank would have loved that. Timo Werner, superb, I thought. Obviously didn't get his goal. He won the penalty for the opener. He ran into space. He was all over the place. He pretty much, for my money, did nothing wrong. He made all the correct runs. He was in the right positions. He occupied the right spaces. And to be honest, there was one example of when Ross Barkley came on. And I'm not going to hate on Ross Barkley here because he came on for Ruben Loftus-Cheek, more on him in a minute. And Barkley changed the game a little bit for the better. He played in Timo Werner at the wrong time, near the latter stages of the game. If he played him in earlier, you'd back Timo to score, but he waited too long and Timo couldn't do much with it. Werner, I was very pleased with. He looks like he's off the shelf, ready to go. He looked like that in the pre-season friendly when he scored against Brighton. Very pleased with Timo Werner. But yeah, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, man, he was pretty darn awful in this game. He was the first to come off for Ross Barkley, and that changed the game for the better. Really sad to see. I think the formation didn't suit him at all. He didn't look confident. Personally, I'm a massive fan of Ruben Loftus-Cheek. I think he can do great things as a footballer. This game he was very, very poor. But anyway, I want to get your guys' thoughts and opinions on this game. I said 3-1, it was 3-1. Didn't get the clean sheet, that's fine. 2 goal difference though, 3 points on the board. We move, we settle. It's not the easiest game, it's quite easy, but not the easiest. And I'm pretty happy. You know, we get more time to train on the training pitch now, more players to come in. Remember, Ziyech, Silva, Chilwell, and Edouard Mendy. Let's be honest, lots to happen. Get down in the comment section below and express yourselves about this game. I want to hear it. If you've enjoyed the match review, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. That's it from me. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later.
Tough with that bad boy tuck. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought. Body bag the verse, outlined in chalk. In my life seen trouble, hustle on the double. Silence on the trigger like my pick got a muzzle. Yo, chick like to guzzle, bad boy stay in trouble. I only love this paper, sorry I don't. I laugh me, baby.